It seems like every player who we expected to be traded by yesterday's trade deadline ended up being traded yesterday, including James Harden, CJ McCollum, Ben Simmons. But it seems like a couple of the trades that we're probably going to be considering very lopsided are the Sacramento Kings trade of Tyrese Halliburton and the Dallas Mavericks trade of Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I already talked about the Tyrese Halliburton trade, why it doesn't make sense for Sacramento, and it really is lopsided in the favor of the Indiana Pacers. And for the Dallas Mavericks, trading Kristaps Porzingis for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans is another one of those trades that is very lopsided in the favor of the Washington Wizards. Because not only did they get Kristaps Porzingis, they also got Montrezl Harrell, who is going to be the backup, more than likely, center to Kristaps Porzingis. Maybe they play together, maybe not. But Dallas did a better job of helping the Washington Wizards become a better team than they did themselves to become a better team. With that being said, I don't think they really have much of a choice. I think when Dallas Mavericks fans and Mark Cuban and especially Rick Carlisle when he was there, I think what really, tipped them off to wanting to get Kristaps Porzingis was they realized that he could be the closest thing to Dirk Nowitzki that we've ever seen. And not only was he closer to Dirk Nowitzki than anyone we've ever seen, he was more athletic, he was quicker, he was a better defender, and he was even bigger than Dirk was, which is crazy to think of. Even though he was coming off of a torn ACL, we thought that Kristaps Porzingis was still a unicorn, and we thought that he could become a 20-10 guy next to an elite playmaker like Luka Doncic. However, I think it's Luka Doncic that really hurt Kristaps Porzingis in the long run for the Dallas Mavericks because, even though Kristaps Porzingis was a great player next to Luka Doncic, he never could become the all-star caliber player that he is capable of becoming in Washington. He's splitting time as, a sharpshooter from the outside and a big man on the inside. I don't think any coach really with Kristaps Porzingis has been able to actually fully unlock what he is able to do since he was in New York. And think about it as a sense of what Dallas has done over the past couple of years, even with Kristaps Porzingis on the roster. There's more moves made around the fact that Luka is the superstar and he is the main guy for the team than there were for Kristaps Porzingis. There always were moves being made like adding shooters, adding big men to set screens, adding guys who could play around Luka Doncic. And even though, even though Spencer Dinwiddie is probably, of guys who are capable of playing with Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie might be the worst possible option. But I think that does help the Dallas Mavericks in the long run better than what Kristaps Porzingis could do because at least Spencer Dinwiddie could play at his full capabilities, and we know what's going to happen. Kristaps Porzingis was never going to be able to play at his full capabilities. He was never going to be relied on in a position that I think he wants to be. And with the Washington Wizards, I think we're going to see a return of KP, the unicorn. They got a young team in Washington that I think really enjoys playing the game of basketball. We see Kyle Kuzma, this is his first season away from the Los Angeles Lakers. He's been kind of the scapegoat over the past few years as to some of their struggles. You got other former Lakers like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, and you got a lot of other guys who are trying to establish themselves within the NBA between now Montrezl Harrell, Daniel Gafford, Danny Avdija, Aaron Holiday, Raul Neto, Corey Kispert as a rookie, Rui Hachimura coming off of an injury, Thomas Bryant coming off of an injury. This team has 13 to 14 guys now. They have some guys. And, whatever happens with Bradley Beal, whether he comes back, I think a lot of people forget that Bradley Beal is still only 28 years old. You give Bradley Beal a full roster that he has not had as the de facto guy in Washington since John Wall left, I think there's a real hope that the Washington Wizards could be, like the Cleveland Cavaliers are this year, a real surprise in the Eastern Conference race by this time next year and could be, like the Cleveland Cavaliers are, in a position to gain home court advantage and a possible top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs.